Namaste. See what we got going on today. Trading economics. Now, I wanted to do this video in November of last year because I did one the year before, and I'll put that link in here. But let's talk about this a little bit. Let's start off with bankruptcies. Bankruptcies, they decreased from 13,000 to the first quarter of 2022 to 14,000 in the fourth quarter of 2021. So we're on a good decline. Now, this is very, very good because bankruptcies in business are all-time low in the past 10 years, which means businesses have been profitable and able to pay their bills. If you could look into the future for the next few years, I want you to think about that. Do you think that we're going to continue on this slope? What's the economy like in your area, in your neighborhood? Are businesses thriving and surviving, or have you had a lot of businesses go under? What do you foresee over the next 6 months or years? So consumer confidence is the next one. It's at an all-time low. Yeah, it's a record low, 50 in June, 50.2. And so the current economic conditions sank at an all-time low of 53.8. And then May, it was 63. So this is not a good place to be. April, it was 65. Because what happens is I'll go back and revert to when Bill Clinton was elected as president. When he became elected, we had a lot of confidence in our economy. We had a lot of confidence in Bill Clinton and what he could do for us. And so what we did was we decided, as a whole country, we decided to start investing in our homes again. We remodeled our kitchens and our bathrooms, and we bought new doors and windows, and we spent money on big ticket items. I think a dump truck's getting ready to come down the road. If it does, we'll just hopefully pause it out a little bit. So, where's your confidence? Are you feeling like this is a good time for you to spend money on high-ticket items like a tractor and a truck and windows and doors and remodel your kitchen? Or do you feel like it's a good time to hold on to your money because you're uncertain about the future? The next one is corruption. Now, this corruption is at extremely low. It's at 67% out of 100, which is really, really good. Now, consumer corruption, it's greed, money, desires, higher levels of market and political monopolization, low levels of democracy, weak civil participation, and low political transparency. Corruption erodes the trust we have in the public sector to act in our best interests. It also wastes our taxes, our rates that have been earmarked for important community projects, meaning we have to put up with poor quality services or infrastructure, or we miss out altogether. So how do you feel about our current political system? The politicians within your community and maybe even nationally, do you feel like they're corrupt? Do you feel like they're ethical? You know, your vote matters. It's an opportunity next year to really, even this year, to make a transformation. Household debt. Now, this is what kind of concerns me. This is of January. So this has been the challenge with doing this video, because normally in November they update it. But even in November last year, it wasn't updated. So I had to wait months, and I've just been really busy with, the homestead, growing the farm and everything out here, relocating to Oklahoma. But it's at 78. And so you really want the lower household debt to GDP. So the higher debt associated with significantly higher unemployment up to 4 years ahead, and a 1% point increase in debt raises the odds of future banking crisis about 1% point. A study by the World Bank found that countries whose debt to GDP exceeds 77 for prolonged periods experience significant slowdowns in economic growth. Pointed every percent point above 77 costs the countries 1.7 in economic growth. This phenomenon is even more pronounced in emerging markets where additional percentage point of debt over 64% annually slows growth by 2%. So, we were at 76% in July of 2020. Then January, we went up, of 2021, we went up to 79%. Then we went up to 80, and we're at 78. So we have been well over 77% for a very, very long time. And so we're going to have a very significant slowdown in our market over the next few years. It's going to take us years to recover. Let's let this big old dump truck go by. They redid our road today. I thought they were done, but they're coming. I'm just like a little kid still with Tonka trucks and big trucks. I loved watching them resurface the road today. So awesome. So awesome. Okay, unemployment rate. Unemployment rate is 3.6, the same as the previous 3 months, remaining lowest since February 2020. In line with the market expectations, the number of unemployed people decreased by 38,000 to 5.9 million, so right below 6 million. With unemployment levels, they fell to 315,000 to 115 million. Meanwhile, the labor force participated rate edged down 62.2% in June from 62% in May. Now, I'll include all the links to all this. The last thing I'll include is inflation. We know it's at an all-time high. Um, this chart, unfortunately, just goes back into June, but as July, it's 9.1. And it's going to be even worse from the expectations. So, expectations a year ahead. Gas is expected to increase 5.6%, rent 10.3%, medical care 9.5%, college education at 8.7. So, I want you to think about who we have in office, who you have in your local government, and how they got there. I'm going to go back to my belief system of politicians that I really feel like term limits should be applied, maybe 4 years, 8 years at the max to representatives or Congress or Senate. These people should not be lifelong politicians. What you have is people that have become detached and desensitized. You have people that went to school for a law degree and they've never worked a day in their life. They've never run a successful business. And if they haven't run a successful business, how can they run a successful government? They don't understand the taxes and economics of scale and labor and unemployment and all those factors that go in hand to hand of running a business day to day, the operations, and understanding the people and the work ethic behind it of working and really giving your heart 60, 80 hours a week, numerous times, just to keep your head above water. So that's why I'm a firm believer in term limits. Now, if you want to know the future of the politician, then all you have to do is look at their past. If they have been successful in running businesses and running economies, and things are better off than when they came in because of their experience, their knowledge, their wisdom, right? Their empowerment, then you know where the future is. So if you look at the last 6 months or the last year and a half and how we got here, and the politicians haven't diligently made assertive and aggressive changes to make things better, we're only going to get in the worst situation. The good thing is that, our bankruptcies and confidence, our, our corruption, I would say our corruptions and our bankruptcy are really, really low. So with low corruption and with low bankruptcy, we're keeping afloat. But as soon as the bankruptcies begin to increase, as soon as corruption begins to increase, then our economy is probably going to fall off. I'm going to encourage you to find the opportunity to empower yourself. Hence, a lot of the reasons why we did what we did. Through this economic downturn, through these things that are going on, I just wanted to make sure that I was in good hands for myself and I engage in my version of self-care, which finances plays a vital role. And so that I was able to shift and pivot and sell a property in Colorado and pay cash for a little bitty house here in Oklahoma. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay because I realize that, everything in this life is truly temporary, but I want to live life to the fullest with the least amount of stress. I want to be able to feed my family, hence why I'm growing a garden out there with a ton of a variety of vegetables, and it's doing really, really well. So it's been a huge blessing, but I want you to find that opportunity to be blessed in your life as well. And that maybe it's time to really turn off social media and turn off the news and turn off the things that are distracting you from being present, the things that are distracting you from empowering yourself and living life to the fullest. Because you do have still a lot of control in your life. That this isn't about victimhood. This is about transforming into the hero, into the warrior, and taking accountability for your beliefs, your behaviors, and your actions, and empowering yourself on a completely, totally different level. And maybe it's time for you to relocate as well. Maybe there's a city or a state that resonates more with you and that will set you up for success financially. And so that you don't end up bankrupt mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. I love you guys. If there's anything I can do for any one of you, please reach out to me. But think about how you can empower yourself. Think about our future is directly correlated and related to our past and those people that are in charge of our finances and our government. What have they done in the past? How have they empowered us as a society? Or have they victimized us? I love you guys. Have a great day.